Live?
Yeah, we're live.
Bloody hell.
Hello. Sorry about that. We have had some technical difficulties. We're trying to get Steve from On Point HQ to join the stream. We're just having so many issues technical wise. So I'll try again next week for sure.
And
I'm
Leslie, no,
about
it
to be fair.
wasn't
I'm
me,
about
you git. It wasn't me.
no, it wasn't Dom for actually
For a
once.
change, it
We'll
was not
try.
me.
Yeah. Well, I'm at home most of this week, so we'll try and set up another thing and get it all sorted, ready for next week. Try, I say. But yeah, welcome back to Plastic Crack, the podcast with myself, Ken from Miniature Wargaming Warriors, and Dom from Boots on the Table. So, what are you up to, Dom? What have you been up to?
What am I up to? What I've been doing? I've been cracking on through medieval figures. I've been churning them out. I've been working through. Oh God, I forgot the name of the company now. Leslie was talking about them the other day. Oh God.
Do you ever remember? Do
No,
you ever
I've
remember the
got a
name?
memory of a frigging goldfish. In fact, a goldfish probably has more memory than I do. They're medieval figures. They're from a Scottish company, Claymore. That's it, Claymore Minis. Probably the finest medieval figures I think you can ever get. I've been working my way through there. A whole load of bowmen.
That's a bold statement.
I
That is a
think
bold
you can
statement.
back it up, mate. Let's see if I've got a couple here I can show you. Not that the video stream show, but. No, I'll wait until I'll show you on one of the update videos because it'll be better quality. But I think they're the finest medieval figures you can get. They really are absolutely awesome, and I wish they do cavalry. They do. I think they do the blind. What was it? Lord John or King John or something. So yeah, that's what I've been working through. Loads of those, and also finishing off the Kickstarter ones from the Baron Wars. So yeah, really, really good. What about you, Ken? What have you been up to?
Week I have been painting, as you can probably see on my desk next to me. I've been doing my first Warhammer Fantasy Regiment, and from the Regiments of Renown, and they are from the subscribers, Sean, the ones he sent me. They are getting painted, Sean, as you can see. I showed a picture off of the one completed on Miniature Wargaming Warriors Facebook group, but I've done today. I've finished the horses completely. They're done. I've done the basing from all. The only thing I haven't done on the basing is I'll go around with the airbrush and do a light brown. Where is it? Dark earth swing around the base because airbrush gives it a nice smooth finish. That's pretty much what I've been up to because they have taken a long time because I really wanted to do them justice. I haven't. Well, the only time I've used the contrast paints on these is been to actually paint the horses.
Got you.
So, because contrast paints just kick ass for that.
They do.
And I'm not going to faff about painting horses skin and washing it when you can get the same effect. The armor and the saddle and everything like that is all being based, washed, highlighted. No, sorry, base washed, layered, and highlighted. So I've done the whole hog on it. I haven't skipped. And I can definitely tell my painting's improved since I last done all this. Especially with the smoothness on it. You're probably not going to be able to see it, but oh no, you might actually. You might kinda back into the background.
Not with my bit right.
That white on there. It's a bit of a pain in the ass because this camera's not used. It's trying to focus on my face. Try and get my face out of it.
Get your big red face out of the way.
Yeah, get my face out of the way. There you go. Oh, get my face out of it. There you are. Bucker eyes. Yeah, but yeah. That there is 16 coats of ceramite white. 16 coats.
Jesus.
I did 16 very thin ceramite white, but technically I went Celestia Grey, which is my favourite grey from Games Workshop. And then I did 16 coats of that ceramite white to get it smooth and bright white. So yeah, that's pretty much what I've been doing.
Outstanding.
Yeah, I'm trying to think anything else hobby-wise. I put a thing out on the community tab on my Facebook group. Little poll to see what people want me to paint next.
Yeah.
And that is going to be the Stuart light tank from Rubicon.
Nice.
I'm going to be doing that next, which is quite nice. Got it in front of me. Obviously, I've sprayed it up, ready to do the video. Hopefully, do that video at some point this week. I don't know when it's going to be out. If it's going to be this week or next. I am starting to film a very well. It's a project. It's a secret project that only I know about.
You and your bloody secret bits,
I won't.
mate.
Yeah, no. This one is. I'm really looking forward to doing it, and it's going to be well for me. It's going to be a massive video because it's going to take me, I reckon, about to film, edit, and do everything. It's going to take me about 3 or 4 weeks.
Right. Wow.
Probably for about a 40-minute video.
That's a bit of dedication,
it's going to be an interesting one. Yeah. The board builds had to go on a hold as well at the minute because I've run out of materials and I can't get hold of any.
Oh.
Which is a pain in the arse. I need certains which I just can't get hold of, which is turning out to be a bit of a nightmare.
That's a pain in the arse, isn't it? It really is.
Yeah, it's not too much of a drama. Originally, I wanted it done for the end of April, but obviously that's been and gone because lockdown and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it would be nice to get that done, or I can do bits when I can. But I'm going to put that on hold probably for a few weeks. I'll come back to it once I start being able to get hold of bits and bobs. I'm sure everyone understands, and it's not going away.
It's not acceptable. You've got to do it. You've got to do it. Make sure you do it.
I want to bloody play on it.
So do we all. Bloody hell. So we've got in the just having a look to see who we got online. We've got modelling for advantage. Hi mate, Leslie. I know Leslie was on because you're always giving me grief before we even got going tonight. Yeah. On point is we couldn't get you in the stream for some reason. Technically, it would not do it. And Battle Bunker Blog Gaming Group. Deep breath. Oh, Seventh Son's just joined as well. So there you go. Who else have we got here? Leslie saying I should go and look up miniatures. Ebob. I think I've got some of those. Those were the ones I found. If you remember my Garage of Shame.
I'm not going to lie, you probably have.
I probably have. I've got most things. Do you know? I was complete aside. I was on Curtis's Paint All the Minis. Is it Paint All the Minis? Well, the one he does incessantly been painting, and he streams while he's doing it. He does it in like 4 or 5 hour blocks of painting. And I joined that the other night.
I've done an 8 hour one. It's painful.
Constant comments I got about my stash, and now I'd have all this. I'm obviously getting a bad rep. But anyway, I've got some Evo figures. I think if I remember rightly, the ones that I showed some time ago, English longbowmen I had that are really quite skinny, willowy. I think they're Ebos and or Ebobs or whatever how you pronounce it. And also on that video I showed some Mongol cavalry that I had. I think they are as well.
Yeah.
So they're really, really nice. But I still don't think they're a patch on Claymore. I think Claymore are the very, very Seventh Son is in the yeah. So
Peter's here. Peter Little, you alright, Peter? Nice to see you, buddy.
Good stuff. So,
Pete Days.
What are you working on tonight then? Are you still working on those?
Yeah, to be honest with you, these are the renown. To be honest with you, the horses are the longest part of all this, and they're done. The actual knights themselves are quite straightforward. A lot of gold, because that's what they are.
Yeah.
So that's not such a hard thing to do. They're already sprayed gold, so I'm just going to put I'm filling out put a wash on, then I'll highlight with a gold, and then I'll just go in and do all the plumes and stuff like that afterwards. So I reckon I'll probably have these done within the next day at most. Won't have them done on the stream because I'm just taking my time with them. It's really weird. You know when you really enjoy painting something? I'm really enjoying painting this, and I don't want it to end. It's quite strange. Sometimes you just can't wait for a project to end, and it's because it's manageable.
Yeah.
There's 7 figures here. It's my first lot of fantasy. Oh yeah, and just a shout out for the chat. It was Dom's birthday yesterday, so he was 75 again.
75 again, yeah. Cheeky bugger. Should show respect to your elders and betters, mate. Talk about betters. Jesus. Yeah, it was my birthday yesterday.
I haven't rolled. It was. Happy birthday, mate. As you birthday.
Yeah.
You're getting a present from me in the post.
Oh, God. You're gonna.
I bet he's like, what the?
I dread to think what you're sending me, mate. I really do.
And the thing is, if it's any form of miniature or anything like that, you must have it painted up within a couple of weeks because people are going to want to see it, aren't they? Aren't you, chat? You're going to want to see him do a video on it.
I feel I'm being set up.
Have it painted up.
I feel I'm being set up.
You
Ay.
never know, Dom. You never know. But
I do know you.
Just do. Yeah. Oh, I know exactly what I'm saying. It's going to be a great one. Let's put it that way. But I can't. I literally can't. I know what's going to happen. You're going to have it turn up. You're going to open it, and I'm going to get a Facebook message saying, "You bastard."
You bastard. Yeah. I'm not going to guess, but I think I know what it might be, but I'm not going to tell you on chat.
Okay.
What I did get, I got this book, which is really interesting if anyone's into their medieval stuff. I don't know whether you can see that. It's Knights of Agincourt. So it's basically, it's really easy to read because it's just pictures. It's just all the knights from both sides that took part at the Battle of Agincourt. It's my oldest daughter bought me this, which is fantastic because I'm going to copy all these.
Good for reference.
Exactly, I'm going to copy these shield designs. And I've got a way, if I can reduce them down in size, and then print them out. I've got these printer transfers. You know, you can get these sheets that you can then create your own transfers with. So I'm going to do that.
Yeah, see, I've never done that, Dom. I'd be interested to do that because there's certain units I've got coming up. I've got banners and stuff like that. Do some transfers. What do? Do you just like go on Paint or something, make your own image up?
Yeah, basically, or PowerPoint or whatever. The last that I did, I just used Word. Actually, I just literally took an image off Google.
And where'd you get them?
I just got it on Google Images.
No, where'd you get the transfer stuff?
Oh,
it's Amazon, yeah.
Yeah.
So anything specific on? Is it just clear transfer sheets, or is there anything else I need, or would it just work with anything?
I'll have a look for it, mate. I'm reaching around on the floor for it now. I can't find it. I'll have a look for it, and maybe I'll do a short video just showing it. It's really useful. So it's basically like a ready-made transfer sheet. You put it in your printer. You print out. You scale your image to the right size. You print it out, and it can normal, almost like a photographic print. But then you have to spray it with a varnish, 2 or 3 coats, which fixes it. And then you just use it like a normal, little man studio. You cut around it, drop it in the water till it comes off. It's thinner and therefore not bold as some of the commercially available ones, but it works really, really well. I was really impressed. I saw somebody did it on some video, and I thought, blimey, I didn't even know you could do that.
It's better than my freehand. It's better than my freehand painting. I can tell you that.
Better than mine, mate. Absolutely better than mine. So yeah, it's So I'm really impressed with that. So I'm going to be working through that. I also got, which I'm really excited about. Probably can't read it because it will be upside down and around the wrong way on the screen. But this is
it's the right way.
The history of the 5th Italian 60th Royal American Regiment. So this is the other rifle regiment that was in the British Army around the time of the Peninsular War and so forth. So the 95th, because of Sharp, get all the kudos. Rifle armed unit, which actually, as the name suggests, being Royal American, started out in North America. It's a fascinating history of their. My best mate Nick bought me this, and I'm really looking forward to reading this. They were raised in 1797, with the first one of the first British light infantry regiments and rifle corps. So really interesting book, so I'm looking forward to reading that. And then he also bought me the British Riflemen against French skirmishers in the combat series for Osprey, which will be an interesting read as well, so I'm really pleased with that. Nice. So yeah, really, really good. Looking forward to working my way through that. Plus I've got a few figures, just in case I needed some, you might run out one day. So that's that. So thank you for all the wishes in the chat. Thank you very much. Yeah, and Steve did break the internet. He said, "I'm sorry, it was Steve's fault that we were late. It's all his fault. Yeah. We tried to get him on, and it broke everything. It wasn't me this time. I can honestly say it wasn't me.
For once I can say it's not." The other weird thing, we haven't asked people if they can actually hear us, but I gather they can.
Well, actually, Leslie said straight away at the beginning, he said, I can hear you both. So I assumed from that was all fine, because he will generally tell me if it's wrong.
Fantastic. At least that's right for a change.
Exactly.
But yeah, not actually. I did I say last week I had a couple of books turn up? Obviously Leslie's going to go fucking mental now, but there we go. I had some fantasy books turn up. I really want to read that because it's old school. Dwarves.
Oh,
I love, you know what I'm like.
Dwarves. I don't like dwarves, do you, mate?
What you? Funny, isn't it? But there's a 6th edition fantasy rulebook to read as well. To be fair, actually, I'm going to keep that out because I'm going to actually have a read of that tonight after the other ask on the bed. I'll tell you something, right? Here's something. Liam's copy of the 8th edition fantasy, right? Okay, so this is the 6th edition.
Yeah.
Okay, 6th edition, and that's 8th edition.
That's a bit chunkier, isn't it?
Just a tad.
Just a bit chunkier. So.
But yeah, that's. I've actually found some people to actually want to play some 8th edition and 6th edition fantasy. It's actually the Games Workshop manager down in Portsmouth, which is
nice.
Quite cool.
You've really got that itch you need to scratch, haven't you? You want to play that fantasy.
I do. Yeah, I want to try it. So I've never played it. You watch, I'll play it, and then I won't even like it. It would just destroy all my love for it. I'll be like, no, I wish I never played it, and I'll never speak about it again. But I've got to bring it up. Pete, what's Leslie saying? It will be naked fantasy. Oh, what I'm sending you?
Naked fantasy. Oh my God, I hope so. I hope so. I never get at my age. I don't get any treats.
Yeah.
And Lee says 6th edition was the best. So there you go. So you're hooked.
6th edition, I've heard, is Hero Hammer. So I'm quite looking forward to it. Obviously, probably guess what my secret project is, but I'm not going to say.
It's going to be dwarves, isn't it? It's going to be dwarves. It's just going to be dwarves. There's 2 things in life you can guarantee: that Ken will be doing dwarves somewhere in the line, and he'll be using his airbrush and contrast paints. Yeah. Those are the 3 things in life for certain.
And epic. And epic.
And epic. Yeah. I think we've talked about this, Leslie. You say to me, I need to explain to you how ancient rules that went from 1st edition through to DBM. I think we talked about this. They went 1st edition all the way through to, I think it was 8th edition, and then turned to, which is the point where we're going to
play that, aren't we, Dom? When this lockdown stuff ends, which is hopefully coming to an end.
I hope so.
Which hopefully isn't too far along. I can come up and have some game stuff. Maybe some recording. That'd be quite nice.
That would be great.
But while we're on the topic of Warhammer, obviously Liam's not here tonight, but 9th edition Warhammer 40K's dropped over the other day. I sat there and watched the preview. Interested, because I've gone off 40K at the minute, as you well know. I want to see how it comes out and how it plays. Am I interested just because of the hype train and FOMO in and stuff? Possibly. It would be nice to give it a go, but I'll wait and see. I think it's probably more of the fact. I think I'm going to end up diving straight into this.
So I think I saw and I wasn't even watching for it, but just the channels that I follow, I must have seen about 8. Yeah, around about 8 or 9 channels covering action videos, people showing the original video. So I understand it is huge hype, but it's just hype, right? I mean, is it? I mean, I'm not. I don't know. I don't know.
Everyone's on the hype train.
Yeah, I mean, I know they're all trying to get their viewer numbers up, and it's clickbait and all that, but you know, so what's different? I mean, it just looked to me. I thought, well, it's just the same old shit, really, isn't it? Just the same old shit going on.
Yeah, pretty much. There's a few different. There's a few different things. They're redesigning it. They seem to be stepping away from, because you didn't see a marine. You didn't see any normal space marines. They're all Primaris marines, the new bigger ones they've brought out.
More expensive ones, you mean?
So they're stepping up. Not they're not more expensive. They're the same sort of price, but they're just newer models and the law's different. I don't know how to word it correctly, but it seems to have gone from a dark rock punk sort of game to a futuristic cartoony sort of game. Because I hate the logo. It looks so cartoony. It's unreal. I can't stand it. And it just seems to be it's more gauged at younger, like, I don't want to say it, but children, like 14, 15, to get them hooked early than it is to their older fans that have been playing the game a long time.
But that's
just
dangerous, isn't it? Because it's you
opinion.
guys that spend the money. Well, not you particularly anymore, but you know, the older Warhammer players are the ones that spend the dosh. It's not the kids.
Yeah. Nah, I don't know. I'm not that excited for it, to be honest with you. Not overly. I'm just gonna.
So I'm not going to pretend I know anything about it. And if anyone in the chat who knows anything about it, then please tell me we're talking bullshit. But I did hear somebody saying that there's a lot more hand to hand. It seemed to be emphasising close combat.
Oh, right. So this is what Games Workshop do very well. Okay, and they do this all the time. Okay, they take something away and make it like it's brand new. They do that all the time. So Primaris Space Marines weren't ever allowed a chainsword. Yeah, normal Space Marines had a chainsword, yeah? So in close combat, they could do a lot of damage, yeah?
Yeah.
Right. They never gave that to Primaris Space Marines. And now what have they done? They've given them a chainsword.
Right.
So everyone's like, oh, fucking hell, the chainsword's back. Well, yeah, you had it with your older Marines. They just were arseholes and took it away from you so they could then hype up the tradition.
Yeah.
It's marketing. That's what it is. That just as they're getting bigger, it's just becoming more of a marketing adventure, and it's putting me off New Games Workshop completely. And that's why I'm liking their older stuff.
They are so good at the hype. Whether like them or loathe them, they are so good at that hype and how they get people hooked on to spend that amount of money. You know, the whole idea, the whole concept of the fact you basically chuck away everything when you update the system, so even down to factions and armies suddenly no longer usable and you start all again. It's just extraordinary to me. Track of addiction, I don't throw away anything because historical doesn't go out of fashion. You just use different rule systems.
No, that's it. And to be fair, they're using the same books, so the codexes that you've got, they're gonna use the same ones. So they're not gonna bring out brand new codexes. So you ain't got to spend. They're 25 quid a pop, these books, mate.
Yeah.
Codexes, and they're only small books. They're not massive. And don't get me wrong, they got so much grammatical error in them, it's unreal.
Yeah.
And even I know it, but it's just crazy, really. That's why I think sometimes going back in the past is a better thing. But there we go, because you just you love what you know. Have I ever played first edition Space Hulk? Yes, I have, Leslie. Actually, I played it with Liam. He's got it. He got the board game. Very good. Very, very much enjoyed it. It was very, very good. But yeah, I think there's enough about Games Workshop, innit? Everyone's here for historical. Yeah. Everyone's here for historical.
Apparently, Grim Dark has been removed from 40k, says Steve. It means absolutely nothing to me. I have no idea what you're talking about, but good for that, or maybe not good for that. I don't know. So I'm working on. I'm doing something I never do. This lockdown is getting to me, mate. It really is getting to me. White, and then I started doing red. 2 colours I never paint. I am now taking off a sprue of Romans. I don't do this sort of thing. I'm going completely doolally.
You feeling all right?
No, I don't think I am. It's my birthday. I'm feeling old, and I'm doing bloody Romans. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah, but you've got Romans.
Yeah, I know
that's the weird thing. You've actually got some lying about.
I have, but not many of them, and they're only really there to throw around. These are Imperial Roman Praetorians. I must have got these in the magazine because I wouldn't have bought them. I've got 2 sprues of them, so I think I'm going to sell them actually. That's what I'm thinking I'm going to do. But I decided I was going to go back into the garage today without everything falling on me and take out some them up, and then I'm going to paint them up. So there you go. That's the way. I'm actually going to get somewhere. Jesus.
Fair enough.
Modelling from Evasion. Haven't painted a Roman in 25 years. Good for you, mate. Well done. I try and avoid it.
Keep it that
I
way.
joke. There's two things I do not do in gaming. I will never play French. Not because I hate the French, because I just hate the French, really.
Not unless a friend forcibly buys you a box set.
Yeah, but there's other uniforms you can convert them into. So if you have, I did convert one load of French I had into Nassau troops because they're pretty much the same uniform, just different colour. So yeah, French I do not game with. I do have some French figures, but I don't game with them, mainly for other people to use. And I don't do Romans. There's the other two. So for historical, I don't do that. So there you go. Enough of this. So I tell you what.
Go on. I was going to say I'm on my 6th layer of white.
Bloody hell.
Sixth layer now.
6th layer.
I
found. I found with the white. So I did. I don't know whether you saw the video I put up of Lord Percy's pike unit, and they're all in white uniforms. And I really enjoyed doing them, and I actually found it really simple. I actually only used about 3 layers. I think I used spray painted with grey, then I used the white contrast paint, which is almost like a grey, isn't it? Just sort of did a couple of pretty heavy, I would call them not quite dry brushing, but really light, heavy dry brushing, if that makes sense, with white over the top. Did 2 layers of that, and that actually just, and then a pale grey wash over, and it came out beautifully. And although the pictures on the screen didn't actually show it to, I didn't think as well as they actually looked in the flesh, but I was really pleased with them. It came out beautifully. So I was actually really pleased.
For very bright. I'm going for a very bright white.
Nice.
I mean, this is very bright.
Well, it's sort of fantasy, so you kind of expect that. Yeah. Evening, Duncan. How you doing, buddy?
What, Duncan Rhodes? You must know Duncan Rhodes.
I do, yes. This is Duncan FX. He's just joined the chat. Late as ever, he says.
Hello, Duncan.
Yeah. No, we're all good. So what was he going to talk about tonight? Well, I had a whole load of questions for Steve, but he's not here, so that buggers up the agenda straight away, doesn't it? But the one I was going to question for you...
Yeah, go on.
And it's really relevant given what you're doing with your paints there. How do you visualise what you're going to do? When you get your figures, when they appear, you pull them out of your limited stash that you've got, and you decide you're going to paint them up. How do you go about the visualisation of what you're going to do with them? And do you have a real clear picture about what you're going to do with them, or you just go with the plans?
Research, internet, straight away.
Yeah.
I'll go straight on the internet and I will look up whatever I'm painting, see what other people have done, and take whatever I think looks. So, like, say for example, these guys, I knew they were going to be mostly gold.
Yeah.
So I was like, I looked up because I looked up the Regiment of Renown for these, and they are gold. So I was like, right, okay. So how can I make my gold look a bit different to everyone else's gold? How can I give it like a little? So I was thinking, I want to make the gold different from the horses and different from the thing. So what gold paints have I got?
Yeah.
So I've got like 4 gold paints. So I was like, right, okay. So one of these is going to be the base layer, which is the Retributor armor. So that was going to be standard no matter what. That was going to go on.
Mm-hmm.
Right, so what do I want to do with the rest? Do I want the actual armour to be more brighter, or do I want it to be darker? And I was like, I was thinking, right, compared to the horse, I want it to be darker.
Yeah. So
I just went with that sort of thing, because I've got the idea, right, that's got to be gold, mostly gold. So I was like, right, that's how I'm going to do it. Let's look. But then it was just a bit of a case of, whenever I do a miniature, or whenever I do a unit, so... Obviously, I've shown you this one's completely finished. I will do the model all the way through to completion.
Right, so you'll almost have a test figure that you can then follow.
Yeah, it's like it's a test figure. Yeah, it's a test figure. But normally 9 times out of 10, I'm happy with the test figure, which is really weird. and I literally just follow through like that. So I was perfectly happy with how he come out.
Yeah.
But it was explaining. So I did for his plume at the top, but I wanted a bright red. So I was
Yeah.
like, right, am I going to do that? So I was like, easiest thing really is to go contrast paint for the base layer, and then I've got some bright reds.
Yeah.
Could have been any company, but I just found the brightest red I had, and I thought I'm going to go over that with 2 or 3 layers of like thin down, because that's another thing I've learned is thinning my paints.
Yeah.
In the last 6 months to 8 months, I used to do like 1 or 2 coats if I'm doing normal basic painting.
Yeah.
Now I do coats easily because I've really thinned my paints down.
Makes a big difference,
And
doesn't it? Some paints are so thick.
it makes your models
Yeah.
it makes your models look really smooth compared
Yeah.
to that.
Yeah.
But it's just experimenting. So I started playing about with the helmet on this, and I used this Gehenna's Gold, which is like it's got a red undertone to it.
Yeah.
So it's more like a kind of like a brassy sort of color. Might be the best way
Yeah.
to describe it. But not completely brass. It's between a gold and a brass, so it's in the middle.
Got you.
But it gives a really nice like hue and tone on the gold. And I loved it. And I was like, I could paint all the gold like that, but I wanted the difference between the horse and the figure.
So do you
that's how I
stick to the
approach it,
paints
really.
you've only got, or do you sometimes
I've
go
got
right?
I've got
I'm
a
gonna
lot. I've got a lot of paints.
right. Yeah, so it's not an issue with that.
I've probably got close to 50 paints.
Yeah.
I've got quite a few. But if I need to buy a paint because I'm not happy, especially for historicals, that's the difference. If it's for an historical, I will not have a problem with going and buying paint. But because I want the uniforms to try and be as accurate as I can get it.
Yeah.
Comes to like 40k or fantasy or the ships,
Yeah.
I'll just use what I got. Green's a green to me. It just depends. I've got loads of tones of green, so I'm gonna have to find one that's close to what I want, dark or light. I think a lot of people. This is where I made a mistake when I first started out. Is I used to follow people's guides to the letter. So I would purposely go out and buy that one Pacific red because I'd only end up using it like 3 times. It's like some of these paints I've only used once, especially for like bright colours and stuff. If I had a choice to start it again and I had some money, say I had like 300 quid, right, I'd probably buy the contrast paint range completely. Yeah. I'd buy all of those. I would buy, if we're talking say K, I would go out and buy the Army Paint and Mega Paint set.
Oh yeah, that's a whopper, isn't it? That's a beauty.
146 paints.
Yeah,
it is. So I'd buy the contrast and that paint set. That would be it. I wouldn't buy anything else. I wouldn't bother with Vallejo or anything like that. If I was going historicals, on the other hand, I would stick with Vallejo mainly, just because I like their colours for historical uniforms and stuff. I know Army Painter do some really nice some nice colours. I've got a few. I do like Army Painter paints. I've got their Army Green, which is really nice for Americans.
So this interests me. So Russian people get really wedded to certain paints, don't they? Certain manufacturers. I mean, tell us in the chat as well down below. Do you is manufacturer of paints you stick to? But it doesn't sound like you do, Ken. You're pretty much you're a bit like me, a paint tart like me.
Yeah, I don't model paints really. I don't use like AK Interactive. That's because I had a bad experience. My first ever bottle I bought from them was a really crap bottle of. It was like the American brown for their rifles, and it was shocking.
Oh, really?
The pigment are completely separated, and I couldn't get it to join again. So I didn't bother with that. I never bothered with their paints again. I haven't bought any Airfix paints or Humber or anything like that, or MIG really. The only MIG paints I've got actually is the primer for my airbrush.
Right.
Just because it was cheap.
No, I must admit, I'm the same really. I don't tend to get wedded by particular brands. I'm a paint tart. I'll pick up whatever. I mean, generally I'm caught by the colour more than anything else because I'm not a massive mixer of colours. I'll do a little bit.
No, I don't mix very
often. Tiny bit occasionally.
It's the worst thing you can.
I find it really hard.
It's the worst thing you can do, really, because in a way, it's really a pain in the ass because you can never get that same color perfection. You know, exactly the same color. If you, as soon as you mix that next set, it won't be exactly the same shade of red, or it won't be the exact same shade of purple. So if you leave it for a year, you won't unless you write it down. But then you're still going to have a bit of a nightmare with it because it's one of those things you're never going to paint it consistently again. You're changed over a year, so you may not need as much.
Yeah.
So when you mix it, you immediately need as many layers. I've noticed my painting. You know, how long have I been doing the hobby now? 3 years, maybe 2.5, 3 years, something like that. And my painting's changed incredible amounts. Probably because I've painted so much. Muscle memory in my hand is just crazy. Really, you think I probably paint most days, every
Yeah.
day.
Yeah, me too.
I know some people that may been
It's
doing the hobby
weird
like
though,
20
isn't
years.
it? Yeah, but it is weird though. I mean, it definitely. I've been painting more in the last than I had previously for a long, long time. And I agree with you.
Yeah.
It becomes a sort of muscle memory thing. I mean, it was funny. I was sitting painting some figures the other night, and I was almost watching myself. You know, like you do when you're watching somebody in a video up close painting, and I was almost watching myself doing it and saying, "Oh, that's clever. Me, you fool, you daft idiot. It's me doing it." But it was sort of because it was almost automatic that my finger,
Yeah.
I was just getting round into the right position to get the right shading I wanted to do. It was really bizarre, but yeah, I agree with you. I mean, practice, it's like everything, practice makes perfect, right? And the more you do something, the better you get, funny, and you learn new techniques, but you also get set on certain ways of doing things, don't you? That, I don't.
Yeah.
I pick up
this
stuff from other people
these
and I modify it slightly, and then other things I'll say, that's brilliant, I love that, but there's no way I'll do it, and but I'll do something slightly different. And
but is one, yeah. I went through loads of paintbrushes, yeah. I mean loads when I was first started the first couple of years. And literally all I use now is I have two paintbrushes. And they're both Army Painter Regiment paintbrushes. They're both the same paintbrush, yeah.
yeah,
Right? Is used for more contrast work.
yeah,
So the bristles on the end aren't so pointy, but it's still a good brush, still usable. And this one here is my point brush. So any detail work, or if I want to get in any crevices, I will use that.
yeah.
I've got some other nice. I've still got because I've got the set. My missus bought a masterclass brush that I haven't even touched. I've not even used it. But
Yeah, I hear you, because I'm the
I'm
same.
used to using this brush.
I get stuck on the same. I've got dozens of brushes, dozens and dozens, and but I'll use the same two. Like you, I'm big into that Army Painter Regiment brush. That's really nice. I really like the size of that one. I'm
It is
really
a nice
using
brush.
that all over the place.
Yeah.
And then I've got the detailed one, which I'm using a lot for the details. Funny enough.
Yeah.
Which I like as well. But when it's dead, I'll just grab another one from the pile and I'll move on out. I'm not so. Again, I know people, and I'm really interested again in. I don't get wedded by particular brushes. Although there are some that I've got and I would never buy again because I just think they're just utterly so cheap.
Brushes.
Yeah, you lose the tips and there's something got hair coming out of place and all that kind of stuff, and I just will not touch them. But fairly easy going on paints and brushes. It really doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
I like to have a big selection of paints because I don't mix them, like you say. It's sort of having the different varieties, and even within the different manufacturers, the same, what they call the same colour, it can be quite different.
Yeah.
Which I like as well, because then you can start doing, sort of a degree of shading, or so using the same colour but from a different manufacturer, and I like that. I think that's really cool. I have been sorry.
Yeah. No, I was going to say the other thing is, I know how this brush holds paint, and I know how the paint's going to go on.
Yeah.
That's how when I touch it in that way, if I just dab it, I know that much paint's going to go on, or I know it's going to go, crazy. And if I put too much on, I know I've put too much on my brush, so I know to wash it out, just do it again and not put it on. Otherwise, you're just going to ruin the miniature and stuff.
That's very true. It is true, isn't it? You just know when you've got the right amount of paint on it and when you haven't. You're very true. Oh, very true. I hadn't really thought that through. What's people are saying here? Martin Seven
Pete
Sons.
Peter's. Oh, go on.
Go
No,
on.
go on. You go. I'll say.
All right, Martin
I was
saying.
gonna say. Peter Little saying Vallejo, Citadel, and Coat d'Arms. I've never heard of Coat of Arms. The paint d'Arms.
Yeah, I've got loads of old ones of those, and I really must check whether they've actually got any paint still moving in them, because they're from my previous painting. They were quite a brand in the day. You don't see them as often anymore. Well, I don't anyway. What do we got here? Leslie says, "Don't you use rose gold powder that can be mixed with any medium?" That's for your talking about your knights. What else? Martin says, "I use all sorts, but I have a couple that I really like. The flesh tones from P3 are brilliant." Okay, interesting.
That's an interesting one. See, that's a good question. Is flesh tones and that, because that's one thing I'm not too great at is painting flesh. So it might be worth me looking at some different flesh tones.
I think
P3, yeah.
You can do. Yeah, that's what it says. P3. You can do some amazing work with some skin tones. I actually don't have the detail eye or the patience to do it. But you watch some of the people who do them. There's a guy, I can't remember what he's called, who does beautiful video tutorials and painting tutorials on the YouTube, and he's literally doing about 15 different colours on a 28mm figure's face, and it's like, oh my god. Then he gets on with the eyeballs, and he does that, and it's like, oh jeez, I can't even see it.
I've started painting eyes. I have started painting eyes now.
I do occasionally,
which I never used to.
If they're easy to get to, I'll do them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Steve says Winsor and Newton Series 7 and size 2, the only brushes I'll pay a little bit extra for. Yeah, I do hear they're very, very nice brushes. And Leslie says, when the point goes, just move on to the next brush. Yeah, it's true. The trouble is, if you've only just used it about one or two times and the point goes, it gets to be a right pain in the arse. And you only need so many dry brush, which is annoying. But yeah, it's a funny thing, isn't it? People get very, very personal about the paints and brushes they use. And then other people, just really don't seem to give a damn. It's really weird.
Some people are very brand loyal as well. It's like I purposely now, if I bought Citadel paints, the first thing I do is bring them home and take them out of their pots and put them into one of my shaking pots.
Yeah.
Because I don't care what Citadel say. It's not a paint design. It's designed to sell you more paint because paint dries out. I don't care what they say. They can tell you what they like. It is designed to sell more paint. If it's not, they would sell it in dropper bottles. I don't care. Because they tell you to, it's really stupid because they say thin it down anyway. Okay, if I thin it down, then why don't you give it to me in a dropper bottle? Then I can just squeeze out a tiny bit instead of having to take out a massive scoop with the whole brush, ruining my bezel on the brush. Just it drives me crazy. But yeah, no, don't get me wrong. They do some really nice colours, but they're definitely a lot more brighter colours. But sometimes that can be handy. I've used some Citadel paints on actual historical figures before. They do some nice greens and nice browns.
Right.
Definitely. I've done a lot of contrast, haven't I? So.
Yeah, exactly. They're good Citadel paints, I have to say. So they haven't they that's supposed to work, which I thought was all a bit of a con just to sell more paints, really, by the look of it. But that's an interesting system too. But
yeah. So they do base. So how it works is that red label is base. So Retributor Armor Gold.
Yeah.
And then you've got layer, which you use, which is a blue label.
Yeah.
But then you also use another blue label one for a highlight. So you've got 3 different.
So basically, that's to rather than having to mix them yourself, it's already made basically different versions of the same paint.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So in a way, that gets you around the problem we were talking about earlier about how difficult it is to repeat the same paint. They've done it all for you there. Yeah.
It just cost you £3 or £4 a bottle.
Yeah.
Actually, I think they're more expensive than that. I can't remember. But, and they're smaller as well, Dom. You only get, I think, paint in Citadel bottles.
Right.
Whereas Vallejo and Army Painter, I think you get 18mm.
Got you.
It's a bit more. I think so. Let me just double check that. I don't want to screw them over here. There's no need to. I feel like I hate Citadel, which I don't. They got me into the hobby, but
Yeah, you do.
I definitely wish I definitely knew about the army painter stuff before I splashed out one of those Citadel paints.
I do. I have to. I think on balance, if I could only choose one paint from now on, apart from contrast, because I don't think I could live without contrast now for horses and shit. But it would be army this year. The overall standard of their paints, I think, is such that I think you could manage with pretty much anything else. I think consistency. That said, so I'm not particularly wedded to them or any other manufacturer, but just find them, fairly reliable, which is what I want.
I can run them all through the airbrush as well. I just need to thin them down.
Mm.
That's the thing. You just thin them down. The only problem you got is you don't know what's in them. So like some of them could be have some dodgy stuff in them that you shouldn't spray. That's why you wear a mask. That's why I wear my mask when I airbrush. But yeah, no, it's one of those things.
Martin says, sod paying for dry brushes. He says basically, to sod playing for dry brushes. Makeup brushes nicked from the wife do just the trick. Yeah, that's true. I nicked one. I'll tell you what,
if you're in the UK, yeah, the range makeup dry brush, innit? This was $1.99, which is spot on for a dry brush.
Yeah, I've got a couple of those. I think I nicked off my my eldest daughter when she wasn't looking, when she was travelling the world, and went into her room and nicked them all because they are really good too. Yeah,
I know. About £8 for it.
The decent ones they do. Yeah. Leslie said, for flesh tones, foundry triads for flesh are very varied for many different nations. Okay, interesting. Never heard of them. Foundry triads. There you go. You want to look out for, Ken?
Another one.
Yeah, never heard of that one myself. So we're talking about visualizing. I think that the other thing for me, with all that is, so it really depends on the type of figure I'm dealing with. So for things like you're doing with your knights, whether you're following the particular, and so if I'm doing, obviously if you're doing Napoleonic Portuguese infantry, then they're gonna be painted in the right uniform, right? But then, just to break that up, I'll always just on the fly, like if I'm doing a unit, and for that Lord Percy unit of pikemen, 16 pikemen, 24 musketeers, and so just the odd one or two, I'd change their jackets or change their trousers just to sort of break it up a little bit, and I'll do the same for pretty much all my figures, even if it's to have something. So again, it'll be historical, but I'll never plan that. It's just literally because I do it in the production line, so I'll do 6 or 8 figures at a time generally, and I'll just literally working down the line. I do all the coats on them, and then I think, well, this one I'll just leave out, and I'll do him a brown coat rather than a red coat, or just do it that way. But then for other figures, like I've been doing these medieval archers, I know that they're all going to be a mixed bag of uniforms, because they didn't really have uniforms. It was whatever they happened to pick up. So literally, it's just I'll almost lucky dip on the paint stand and just go, that'll do, as long as it's not too bright and it's not too not too leery in the right way. But then again, for the one bit with the knights I was working on, I actually worked back from the shield transfers. So I said, right, this guy's going to have this shield. So by Heldry tradition, if the shield is predominantly white, then it's probably that any surcoat he's got is going to be white to match that way, and did it. And that's the first time I've ever really done it that way, to the point where I actually stuck the shield transfers on very, very early in the process. Generally, it was always the last thing I did. I did it actually very, very early on in the piece, just so I could remind myself what the main colour was going to be. But yeah, I think sometimes it's just go for it and just see what the flip happens.
That's what these were really, because there wasn't any painting tutorials on these, and there isn't. So it was just literally reference stuff. I just had a look and I was like, oh yeah, that would look cool. But the horses are all my creation. They're all unique. I've mixed it up a little bit with them because they've got plated armor going over the back of their necks. And same model, but I've done the painting differently. So one of them I've done all silver at the top, then all gold at the bottom.
Yeah.
The other ones I've done like a tiled effect, silver gold, silver down. Some I've done half silver, half gold, just to mix it up a little bit. But that's how I've done it with me. Pete, little. Oh, he's not far from me, Dom. Horndean. Where do I go for my Citadel stuff? In all honesty with you, I probably go online most of the time. I'll either go to Goblin. If I don't need it quickly, I'll go to Triple Helix. But if I'm to go into Portsmouth area, you've got Fistful of Dice down in Southsea. Porchester Models. I'll go there quite a bit because it's close and I'm on my way home sometimes. But Horndean, it's not a shop in Horndean. They've got one in Petersfield as well, but
yeah, must have. I buy most of mine on your audio's not what?
Apparently, my audio current bit rate is 0.
Oh,
okay.
Weird. That's interesting.
It sorted itself. It sorted itself out now.
Come back
That's
on.
strange.
Good.
Maybe because I wasn't talking. Yeah. But yeah, no. There you go. Yeah, I tend to go online for my Citadel stuff.
I think it's the best thing to do, to be absolutely honest, is going online and get your paints. It's
yeah. Most things nowadays. But if my local, I've got a couple actually. I've got I go to that hobby shop in Andover, because that's 40 minutes away from me. He does like 15% off, which is quite handy. So yeah, it depends on it. There's a few, but yeah, the one in Southsea, Fistful of Dice, is quite convenient. Play down there as well occasionally.
There you go. You can get an autograph from him down there. I have to say I buy most of mine, which is generally where I do most of that browsing. I just go, oh, that's a nice colour, and all that. Oh, look at that colour, and I love that colour. But then other times, if I know what I'm going for, I'll generally go to something like Goblin Games or something, because they're just generally, I mean, they're not running. Nobody's running particularly quickly at the moment, but generally they're running really quickly, and you get it. If they say they've got it in stock, they've got it, and it arrives. Unlike some of the other discount retailers who fucking dead. But yeah, it's
yeah.
So we haven't mentioned the fact Gumbo's not here. You go, where's
he's
Gumbo?
not.
Where's Gumbo?
Dickhead. Oi, Liam, if you're listening, I hope you're tired as anything and fallen asleep till 3 o'clock in the morning last night playing computer games. What an idiot! He could have been painting.
Jesus.
No, we've been playing Total War Warhammer, which is like if you know Creative Assembly, they do like Empire Total War and all that sort of stuff. But this is all based on a fantasy universe, and he's got addicted to that now. So yeah, good luck in getting him off that, which will be a nightmare.
Yeah, we were supposed to have. There was supposed to be 4 of us tonight, and there's just me and Ken left.
Yeah,
the stalwarts.
I know there's 2.
Jesus.
There, I might wait for a minute. I might go over some more of that later, but let's get some lead belcher on the go.
So here's the thing, also, Ken.
You go on.
Do you ever? Question, is it? It's another question. I'm jumping through questions because a lot of them aren't relevant.
No.
But
that's cool.
The intimidation of figures. Do you ever look at a figure and you just go, "Oh my god, what am I going to do with him?"
Not anymore. I used to. I really don't now. No, honestly, I don't. To be honest with you, a big figure like where is he in here? The old Nazgul, yeah.
Yeah.
He's going to be a treat to paint. I can't wait to paint that. It's going to be a treat. He's gathered dust, believe it or not. He's got dust and cobwebs on him, so I'm going to have to give him a wash before I do it. But I'm literally looking forward to painting all the individual scales on him. Really going to take my time. I look at those as my masterpiece figures. These are the ones that I'm going to spend my time on. My characters and stuff. My normal run-of-the-mill infantry things, they're bulk batch. They're just done. But characters, yeah. I've seen some, like you've got. I'm trying to think, like some of the 40k, like Primarchs and stuff like that, are all covered in all sorts of. You can think, Jesus Christ, what am I going to do with that? But I guess you think about just breaking it down. So, like, okay, right, I've got a choice. I can normally would do it and just take my time.
Mm.
So I'm quite a patient person. And do one bit at a time, steal all the gold and do all that. Or you could say, right, there's his leg. Right, I'm going to completely paint that leg. I don't like to do that because
Yeah.
what will happen? I'll slip with the brush. So I
Mm.
tend to do it layer by layer with all my figures, and that's how I break it down.
Okay.
What about yourself?
Well, I don't usually, because, like you say, most of the figures I'm doing mostly historical, and at the end of the day, they're just 28mm figures or 15mm if I was doing them scale figures. So it's not a big deal, and I'm following a historical scheme. But fancy ones do get me. So I got this fella.
Okay,
You see this one? Whether he's shy.
it's a dragon, yeah.
It's a undead dragon.
Okay.
You can see him, but it's probably a bit bright to show him because he's white.
Yeah, he's bouncing off, isn't he? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can kind of see him. Yeah.
But it's a beautiful, beautiful monster, and I'm looking at him. I'm going, I don't really know what do I do with him. Because in my mind, I know what I want to have him look like, and I'm just thinking, can I do him justice? You know. I'm just also looking at the
well, probably about a year and a half ago, I got a Forge World model. You know about Forge World?
Yeah.
They're bloody expensive. I got the Avatar Cane. It was like 80 quid.
Yeah.
And I really did spend some time.
That does focus the mind, doesn't it? When they get to those kind of prices, you think, ooh, I don't want to fuck this one up.
No, I don't want to fuck this up, especially where it's resin, so you're a bit dubious about stripping it. It's like, what's safe and how do I safely strip it? But I always look at things in a goal, which you will see in a future video from me. It's like now I've just started the new colour. Oh, it feels so good. So good.
It's weird though, isn't it? Because I must admit, I do, I've had it before with other, and it's usually fantasy because it isn't something I predominantly paint. I very rarely paint. But when I was doing a lot of, I got some of those beautiful ogres and things from Atlantis Miniatures. Absolutely fabulous figures, and I looked at those and I fell in love with them. It was a Salute last year. I bought them. Last year? I think it was probably Salute last year. I bought them, and I fell in love with them. And I thought they're just such awesome models. And then I got them home, and I'd had, it has to be said, a few jars at the point where I bought them. So I bought that, and I bought a Wraith, and I bought something else. I bought a lot of money's worth from Atlantis in one go. And I got them home and I looked at them and I thought they are so lovely, but now what the hell, I was, and I spent a bit of time just, working, a bit like I was saying with the visualization thing. Generally I'll just launch into it, just, a bit of this and, I'll work through this. But then I did spend a bit of time working through what I was going to do where and thinking through the colour schemes I wanted. And actually I was really pleased with the results, and they came out far better than I actually thought they would. Than I thought I was capable of doing, right? So I was really pleased with it, but it's still, I got this guy arrived as a Kickstarter that arrived the other day, and there's a couple of, you'll see in the video when it goes up, and I'm looking at them going, because they're undead as well, I think if it was a regular dragon, I'd go, right, yeah, I can just do, I'll decide the colour of dragon, and I'll do the different tones, and I'll do some dry brushing, maybe as you say, pick out and everything. But this guy's got bones showing through in his legs and on his back, and it's like, oof, it's going to be quite a job. And I'm looking and thinking, oh my god, I've got an undead giant, which is the same. He's got bits of flesh hanging off and these sort of things. It's a beautiful, beautiful figure. I mean, really nicely done. Yeah. But I'm looking at it going, oh shit. I don't know, it'd be fine when I get underway with it, but it's just that whole sort of starting the process, You
should prime it, Dom.
Oh, I will. Yeah,
it makes it a lot less daunting. That's from my point. I always try and prime stuff. I'll get it primed, get it ready. Then I can start it when it's like, you never know, one day you might be fancying to really paint it, but you haven't primed it. And you'd be like, and that might stop you from doing it,
Yeah, I do know. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm going to do that. I mean, at the moment, I only made it up the other day, so I'm just going to. There's a few mould lines that need removing, and there's Mostly it's gone. This particular model's gone together really well, but there's just a bit of a gap on his where his tail joins his arse. Yeah. So I need to do that, and then I will prime it up, as you say, because one day I'll look at it and go, you know, I'm going to have a go at that. I know what I want to do with it, and I think that's what happened with the ogres. I just sat there one day and just went, yep, that's what I'm going to do with them, and I started doing them, and
or you fancy paint something.
Yeah, exactly, especially for me when I'm doing reams and reams of historicals. Steve says Napoleonic still get the bejesus out of him. Yeah, I know that feeling. Napoleonics can be scary. But it's true, and it is about what you try, and I do honestly think, again, for the newer painters, I think, you know, having in mind what you're going to do. And
don't spend too long trying to make your mind up. Just try and get some paint on, especially if you need.
Yeah.
If you fuck it up, what's the worst that's going to happen? You just have to strip it. You know, and there's plenty of videos on YouTube how to strip it. Isopropanol alcohol is perfect for most things. I've stripped resin, plastic, and metals with it. That's the worst that's going to happen, isn't it?
Yeah, it's true. It's true. I think also because for me, I said this before, that painting is purely to get figures on the table. So, you know, I generally paint because I want to play with a figure and get it used. And this Kickstarter where I got these models from, I was at the time, you know, Kickstarters take well over a year to arrive, and this one was no different. I was doing a lot of Age of Magic Saga battles, and so I wanted to do an undead army with it, and that's why I got this.
Yeah.
But I haven't played Saga Age. Well, I haven't played anything for months. But Age of Magic sort of dropped off the playlist a bit at the club. So it's sort of that immediacy of, right, I'm going to get these figures on the table. On a way, which makes it a bit difficult. So again, it just doesn't inspire me quite like it would have done if, you know, a few months ago, years ago. But anyway, we'll get around to it. It will happen because it's a lovely model, and I want to see what it looks like and see what I can do. But yeah.
Oh, Mox. No, an old mate of mine's just popped in. You right, Mox?
Oh, somebody can tell the true stories about what you've been up to.
Yeah. Played a lot of video games together a lot.
Yeah. On points, just Steve's just saying about Napoleonics, and because he usually does German Second World War, and bolt action figures are, you know, he does an amazing job with them. But they you know, Second World War figures are a lot easier to do than pretty much most other periods, let's be honest. But he started doing Napoleonics, and it's quite intimidating. I know it is when you first start doing them, if you're not used to it, because they're so intricate. But it's just like any other uniform. You just work through it. You just, you know, get going. And yeah, I know he did.
Seems to take ages.
They do. They'll take a lot longer than you used to. That's one thing for sure. Well, you did some, didn't you, for the first time, and you suddenly like, blimey, a figure that would take you know, a couple of days to do, it was taking you 3 or 4 days to do, and it's like, yeah, it's just the way it is. That much more intricate. There is so much more involved in them, but you know, it's
yeah, precisely. That's the thing.
I can't work out how these bloody models go together. These Praetorian guards are bloody awful. Jesus.
Well, if Liam was here, not being a lazy bastard, he'd be able to tell you.
What's Leslie
Hopefully he's watching. If he's not,
has changed with the new edition Saga. Yeah, they all change, mate. That's the way it is. They all change. Rule sets evolve.
You can still play the old edition.
You can. I like Saga. I think it's a good system. It makes my head hurt because you have to really think. It's not. I think that's one of my biggest problems with Saga, because it's not that sort of game. You know, if you had a really busy week when the club's running, we play on a Friday night, and you've had a busy week and you just want to go and have a bit of a laugh with your mates and have play some games or whatnot. And then you have to really think. Yeah. It's like, oh shit!
It's not one of them.
Sometimes you're just not in the mood for it, and I found that's the problem with Saga, because you do have to really think about it, because it's, you know, one cock up in one turn, that can be the game. That's not to cry it, because actually I think it's a really good system. But you know, I admire people. I know one of the mad Italian at our club, Silvio. He goes off and does these Ironman competitions for Saga, where literally you turn up, and all they say is take measuring and your measuring sticks and the rule book, and don't bring any figures. And they basically assign you the figures, and they assign you the battlefield, and you basically don't know who you're going to be playing or what you're going to be playing at all. And that to me is like, oh my god, because you know they all have all these attributes and different. They have these battle boards. I don't know if you've ever played Saga or seen Saga, but they have these battle boards.
No.
And basically, what you do is each turn, you roll a series of random dice, depending on how many units you still have running. It's a small battle. It's probably only 6 or 8 units. But you'll roll 6 or 8 dice depending on what units you've got left, and depending on what comes up, you can activate battle board. So you might need 2 of these special emblems and 1 of this emblem to make this particular skill. So you really, really need to know what the skills are that you can have for those particular troops. It also really helps if you know what your enemy troops can do, because if they have particularly you know that when they're rolling things. If you get too close, then you could pummel. Yeah, so you know that unit there may well going to give me some ferocious charge. I better go into shield wall if that's an option your unit has, etc. So it's a bit of a rock paper scissors kind of really hard. So the thought of just rocking up and just saying, well, today you're going to be playing Crusader against Muslims. It's like, I don't know. And then the next game you'll be playing Vikings against medieval, no, not medieval, you're playing against Irish or something, and then the next game you'll be playing something complete. God, but he does it. And I think, Jesus, full marks to him. But it's a good game system, but it does make my head hurt. It really does.
Yeah. Well, it's fucking terrible. Yes, it is terrible. I said that earlier. He agrees with me. And he's off now because he's got work in the morning. See you later, mate.
Tally bye. Yeah, well, we're not talking about that anymore.
No.
We're not talking about 40k
anymore. No, we're not. Oh.
Jesus.
Tell you what, though, I'm getting some experience with painting knights.
That'd be good for when you start doing some proper medieval stuff, mate.
I could really piss people off now and say these aren't proper medieval.
Steady, Leslie, steady.
Steady.
Yeah, it's but they're good. Those, if they're the figures I remember, they actually do look quite good. So I'm not gonna downplay them. And I say some people would argue that some of the rule systems that I play are pretty much fantasy anyway. So it's all fine.
Yeah,
it's all fine. Nothing wrong with fantasy. But no. God, these must be really early Praetorian Guard. They are so. Oh, I don't like them. And they're Roman. Why am I doing this? Why am I doing this?
Do you know what you need to do with them, Dom?
Chuck them in the bin?
You need to just sell. No, just sell them.
That's what.
Put them on for £3. Done. Yeah. £3 plus postage.
I was thinking I was going to make them up, and paint them,
you could do a
and
giveaway.
then sell them.
Do a giveaway.
There we go.
Do a giveaway.
When I get to 1,000 subs, I'll do a giveaway. I've already decided that. I've even got a couple of things I'm going to target to give away already, so there you go. But I'm just a bit shy of that so far. We'll get there. No, these are bloody fiddly. I don't like them.
You don't like them.
Don't like them. Yeah, I ended up going through the stash, the backlog, and I was trying to clear out some of the stash, and I thought, right, I'm gonna make up some of these models that have been sitting out there in the boxes. So these are some Roman Praetorian Guard from Warlords, and I'll paint them up and then I'll sell them. But at the moment, they're driving me insane, and they're just horrible. They're really nasty figures.
They might not even get to the painting stage.
They may not even get that far. But it's weird because I've got clippers, I've got a sharp scalpel knife, shields off the frigging sprues. I'm getting great holes in the shields. It's like, oh my god. Then trying to fit them together, it's a whole different kettle of fish, and I don't like the look of them either, because they're Roman. So it's all bloody disaster, frankly. What am I doing? What?
You're fucking it up, Dom.
I'm fucking up. Could be worse. I could be doing Black Sea ships. Jeez. So how's your ships coming then, Ken? Any progress?
Wanker. No, there ain't no fucking progress on my ships.
Listen, when we finally do meet up, we're gonna play some Black Sea. So you need to have some ships.
No, that'd be great. Yeah, that's fine. You got loads in your thing. I've seen all yours. I might just. Do you want to buy some ships? Do your deal, mate.
Yeah,
I'll do your deal.
no,
£5 for a month.
I'm over them. Thank you. I'm not doing any more. I'm still planning my game against Imogen. We just didn't have time because this weekend was my birthday. We didn't have time to do anything. So I think I'll play Black Seas because it'll be fun to play and easy for her to pick up the rules. Yeah, and she'll beat me as well because she's like that. Because she's too good. But yeah, it's
I hate.
Oh shit! How does that
hate
work?
things like that.
So they have. Oh, why am I doing this? Have I mentioned that?
Yeah, 3 times now.
Yeah, sorry. Jeez, it's horrible.
Oh, this is horrible.
Yeah, I would recommend it, Steve. To be honest, Steve's asking about whether Black Seas a while back. The game is brilliant. The ships are a nightmare to put together. Don't
ever put them last before you finish them.
No, absolutely. They are.
I tell everyone.
Fiddly beggars. They really are. I mean, they're lovely models. Don't get me wrong. They're really nice, but they're fiddly things. And the smaller ones, the brigs and the frigates, are actually easier to put together than the bigger ships because they're just all plastic. So as long as you remember to, as we say, paint them on the sprue, do not put them together. Don't put together. Do it on the sprue, and then put the things together after you've done that. I've done the bulk of the painting. You can still do the sort of highlighting and a bit of washes and that sort of thing afterwards. But
your base layers.
Layers have got
before you put it down.
Yeah. And then of course you got the masts and then fitting the sails and the rigging, and good luck because that will absolutely try your patience. You will be.
It'll crush your soul. There's no other way around it. Then
you're quite right.
You just crush yourself.
And then you'll drop it off the table like I did with HMS Victory the other day, which was like, oh my god! I just went, oh no! Luckily it wasn't too bad, but see, it's taken me all this time to do one flipping figure. I'm not even sure.
Really?
It's right. Yeah, well, no, I've got multiple of them out, but I don't like him. He's horrible. Anyway, he's definitely going on eBay. Right, that's sorted.
Right,
easy.
That's me done for some painting. I'm gonna just sit here for the next 20 minutes because wherever long we're on, that's me done for some painting.
Steve says he learned about 15 new ways to swear while rigging the 2 he built so far. Yeah, you're too bloody right, mate.
See, I didn't mind the rigging. I was alright with that. I'm pretty good at doing the rigging. It's just the painting I hate.
Did you do the whole great big...
Yeah, I did the whole... Yeah, did it all.
Blimey. Maybe I should do a swap with you. I'll paint your ships and you can do my rigging. Maybe that... Actually, no, I shouldn't say that for real.
I've done it all. Yeah, so I've got how many different bits on here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. About 13 different bits. Done them all.
Nobody likes to show off.
So I've done it. So I'm used to doing small knots.
Right.
So I've had experience with it. So it's not too much of a drama for me.
I just I've got fat fingers, which doesn't help. And then trying to just get in amongst... Yeah, but even then I just... No, I'm not doing it.
I don't think I even have to use tweezers, to be fair. I just make wraps, a few extra wraps and
Right.
stuff. It's I just need to paint them. It's just being the boredom of actually painting them. I just find them boring to paint.
Well, they are quite quick to do. That is the one good thing, I think. From what I remember when I did the last ones, it's so then contrast works really nicely on them. That's one thing I will say with them.
It gives you like a weathered beaten effect, doesn't it?
Exactly. And the actual models are really nicely made. They've done a really good job with them. So the contrast paint on a good prime, really, if you then just start picking out the gun barrels and all that kind of stuff and make it look nice, and then a decent wash over the deck, particularly over the deck, seems to bring that really out nicely, and I found that really good. So I didn't find the painting actually that difficult.
No.
But the rest of it, having it look right, and I say with the bigger ships, they have metal masts and resin bases, and that's just a horrible combination. And once the mast is bent slightly, it's just like trying to straighten it up and get it absolutely perfect, and then to run round, and then the rigging should hold it taut. And if you do the rigging right, not like I do it the way you do it, it should hold the mast tightly together, which actually is a good thing. But it's just beyond my capabilities to do.
Yeah.
So have you done much of those Rubicon kits you got? I know you're going to do the Stuart, but have you done the rest?
I built them. I just haven't painted them yet. Been concentrating on these fantasy miniatures.
Yeah.
Oh, excuse me. But they are built. The half track's done and all that. It's built and spray primed, ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
But again, that'll be when I go back to do some Second World War stuff. That'll be then. See what I might do. See if I can do it in time. What time is it now?
9:35.
Yeah, I'm gonna try. I'm gonna paint a Breton.
Yeah.
See what they like with contrast paint.
Yeah. Lee says he's got a lot of Langton, and they were a pain to rig. Yeah, they're nice ships though, aren't they? Really nice models. I think they're really nicely done. They're the same scale as Warlord ones, I believe. If it's the one I'm thinking of. Really nicely done though. Oh my god, I hate these. Shit.
Yeah.
God damn it. How the hell is that supposed to go on there? You know what? It's one of I really, really don't like making up plastic models. I much rather get them ready-made. So many of my figures I just buy on eBay already made up, just because it saves so much aggro. And then I go into stacks of plastic sprues I've got that I need to sort through, and I think, why did you do it, you fool? Because I hate doing them. Although some of them are like the Napoleonics I've got. Most of those, there's literally just put the heads on and backpack on, and that's it. So actually, that's not a big deal. But these are fiddly as hell. These guys. I know everyone gets really obsessed, and I love having a bit of variety in my figures, and I get that, and I know people bash to get different figure varieties and all sorts of things, but it's for me, it's just getting the figures on the table, and I just want them done. Just want it done.
Yeah. Just get it done.
Just get it done. Yeah, Lee's agreeing. He doesn't like them either. I don't know what he's referring to, but I'm taking it to mean he's agreeing horrible things. Oh yeah. So what Second World War are you going to be working on next then? If you say you got another project, is that your secret project you're not talking to us about?
No, it's not Second World War.
Oh right, I thought you were just saying about Second World War you're going to do.
No. When I go back to Second World War.
I see. Right, sorry. Okay, misunderstood.
Yeah. No, that's fine. Yeah, when I go back to doing Second World War again, which won't be too long, I'm sure. I haven't got any Germans to do, thank Christ. Run out of Germans.
That's my next project. I need to do. I've got German Winter War to do. I've got a whole load of Winter War figures, so I'm gonna do them.
I'll tell you
up.
what, the plastic ones are them, mate. The plastic ones are like 3 bits.
That's good.
They're not much put together.
Well, when the Stalingrad book was coming through, you could get was it a third off or something. So I thought, oh well, I'll get that because you can never have too many Germans, can you? And I've got a few metal ones to put in with them from other manufacturers, like Offensive had some as well. So I'm going to do them up, and looking forward to doing that. Medievals are done. I'm going to crack on and do them because what I like about doing the Second World projects is they don't take long to do.
No, they don't. That's the beauty of them, isn't it? They don't take long at all. They're not intricate, really. You can get them done pretty quick, especially it's is nice.
Yeah, agreed. So it's and I do need to also get on with those Hungarians that I got from the Kickstarter that arrived later as well. So I've got a number of Second War, and that's without even into my new project for Second World War, which is going to be the Desert War British, which I'm going to do. But that'll come. Plus I bought me some more Spanish Napoleonics. So I'm going to have to do them as well now. So, which is great. I'm really excited. Actually, I'm actually genuinely really excited to do them. That'll be good because they're so nice, so nice to do. So,
were they offensive miniature ones? Were they?
Yeah,
they are nice.
So I'm going to work through those next. No, probably I don't know. Don't know what I'm going to do next. I'm trying to be a bit disciplined, Ken. I know it does. You won't believe this, but I've been working through some of the backlog, getting them cleared. I've just about finished my backlog of English Civil War. I've got some Cuirassier cavalry to do, which are primed and put together and ready to go. There'll be next, I think. So all the medievals. I've got a few more mounted knights to do from the Baron Wars Kickstarter, so they'll be at some point interspersed with the Cuirassiers because they're all basically guys in heavy armour, which is pretty easy to do. And then I think what I'm going to do next. I'll finish off some of these sprues. I think that's what I'll do. I've got some Napoleonic Portuguese here, so I'm going to do them.
Yeah.
And if I don't end up chucking these Romans in the bin, I'll paint these up in between because they won't take long and probably sell them. I might hold on to them until Infamy comes out, to the new rule set, because when Infamy comes out, everybody's going to be wanting to buy Romans, aren't they? So it seems like a good opportunity to sell them.
Exactly.
Dear.
It's a good shout.
So it's.
I managed to get some more contrast paint this week, Dom. To be fair, I forgot to mention it to you. Do you remember I was having a nightmare trying to get hold of it?
Yeah, you were, yeah.
Yeah, I went and actually did a click and collect service.
You were saying about this. Your local shop was doing that. That's cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah, click and collect. I ordered it at 11:30 in the morning. It was ready by 12:05.
Bloody hell, nice. I must admit, I did get some on eBay. Somebody was selling them, and I thought, oh right, because normally when you go and look at them on eBay, they're all sold out. But this guy had some, so some Templar Black and some of the colours I use a lot of, just to sort of.
I needed that.
But I'm still waiting for my order from Elemental Games, which I placed, I don't know, April time, and they say it was going to be slow, but they said beginning of May. It's now 25th of May, and it still hasn't arrived. So, yeah. Steve says happiness is 52 sprues, clippers, and super glue. Just call me Frankenstein. Yeah, you're mad, basically, man. You're absolutely bonkers.
Steve's old school because he says super glue.
Yeah, there you go. I use super glue. I use super. See? Super
glue. Yeah. What, plastics?
Yeah. Sometimes I use the plastic glue, but yeah, generally I just find it. I try.
Oh no, not for plastics.
I've got this stuff that I occasionally use, but the trouble is the old nozzle gets gunked up.
But Yeah, but you can use a lighter to do the end. Melts the glue away. Put it over heat, burns it away.
Wow. I just reach for the super glue instead. It seems much easier. So yeah, I've got more than 52. I don't think I've got more than 52 sprues, Leslie. Don't you start rumours. It's probably around about 49, something like that. Only that.
Something like that.
No, actually, they're not going to be militia, Leslie. These are regulars. They are Spanish line troops. They're rather nice, actually. If you saw the video I did, where I did my militia unit, I did a group militia skirmishers to go with them, and these are the same kind of thing. So they have a very traditional, very standard uniform. It's has a shako and what have you, and they tend to be sort of a royal blue and a light blue colour is their main colours, which should be quite simple to do. So I'll knock them out quite quickly. But the only difficult bit with them, I think, from what I remember, is they have on their shakos, they have very sort of like what do they call them, stovepipe shakos. So they're very tall and quite thin, and up the sides, each side, they have this trim that goes, which you have to know on whether they're light grenadiers or centre, and then a bobble on the top, which is also the same colour. So green, obviously, if they're Jaegers or light infantry, and then I think grenadiers are red. I can't remember now to look it back up. But yeah, so you basically they're pretty simple to do, but they should be quite effective. And I got asked what on Christmas for my birthday, so I put a whole load of different offensive miniature figures that I wanted. I got a few of them, which is great. Also got some Spanish dragoons as well, cavalry, so they'll be fun to do as well. So, because I can't wait to get back doing some shot practice, because I just love it. It's great fun. So
yeah.
Which reminds me, somebody was supposed to be playing tabletop for shot practice, and they bloody let me down, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. I forgot.
I sent some gumbo, another gumbo, a message, and I said, "Oh, we're playing tonight." He said, and there was like this audible pause, and then it was like, "I forgot about it. Sorry."
Completely forgot.
Jeez.
I was like, we will have that game, will be fine. But no, it's good. It's good. I was going to say, have you got any other questions, or was that it for tonight?
That was it for my questions, mate. That was all I had. Well, the only other thing was about kit bashing. The king of kit bashing on the. We were going to have Steve on here talking about what he does.
I think we'll save that one for him.
Yeah, we'll save that for when we finally connect with him. So.
Yeah, we'll save that one because there's a lot of kit bashing.
He does a hell of a lot.
Cool.
But any questions in the chat, we'll try and answer there. But otherwise, I'm going to try not to swear with these bloody Romans. Did I mention bloody Romans? Just once or twice, I know.
Yeah.
There's such a difference between warlords, different age of them. Some of them are so bad, and then others are actually pretty damn good. It's so variable. Just wish they'd make it more consistent. Oh, I'll tell you what I did get through the other day. This will make you sick. From figures from Gripping Beast, review figures. They sent me a box of their late Roman cataphract cavalry to review.
Did you mail them? Did you?
I'd already emailed him some time ago, actually, and I said because I can't remember about something completely unrelated. And we were talking. He said, "Oh, how's the channel going?" So I said, "Oh, it's going all right. Few people following, which is great." And he said, "Do reviews if you ever got anything." Thinking, "Oh, Gripping Beast, they're too big. They won't send anything." He said, "Oh, I'll send you some stuff when we got something new out." So sure enough, it came in the post the other day. Box of cataphracts, and I'm thinking, "Oh,
I bet I bet you were like. I bet the wife was like,
I did have to do a lot of justification on that. I did have to say, you know, this wasn't me. I didn't buy
no
these.
emails.
Honestly.
Yeah, it's the email chain I had with the guy.
Exactly. Because as I've said before, now it's I try and time them to arrive when you know the people aren't around.
No one's here.
Less hassle. Oh dear.
It is less.
So what is Steve says he uses super glue gel. You get a lot more work time and you don't end up gluing your hand to the wall. I don't know. Yeah, I managed to glue everything to the wall, Frank.
But then that's why I use plastic glue, because I don't stick to it.
I use a lot of which I you know, up until about 2 or 3 months ago, I wasn't even aware it existed. Is that where you just spray it on and it's instantly sets it.
Oh, okay.
It's fantastic. I never even knew it existed. Back there holding a model together, waiting for the super glue to bite and set and what have you, and then now I just get the little sprayer out and spray it and it sets instantly, and it's like move on to the next thing.
And it's happy days.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, isn't it funny how you can do something like this hobby for years and years and years, and then something so bleeding obvious that people have probably been using for years and years and years, and you suddenly discover and you go, wow, why didn't I know about that?
Why?
Why didn't I know about this? Why did nobody tell me? It's like Luke's APS basing stuff. It's like, why didn't anyone tell me about this before? It makes life so easy. So,
tell you about that.
Mm.
Did I tell you about that stuff? It was me.
No, I don't think it was you, but I think I did see it on a video. Oh no, I don't think. What did I see it on a video? I can't remember. Yeah, I think I did see it on a video. Maybe it was yours, mate. Maybe it was yours. But I remember seeing someone do it, and I thought, can't be that easy. And I got it. And it's
They're lying to us. They're lying.
They're lying to me. They are lying to me. It's like saying Romans are good or French are cultured. You know, it's just the lies, all bloody lies. So yeah. Oh dear. What's that? Closely says, Dom, you can put one on each surface and then just out them together. Is that Romans and French? I don't know. I think he's talking about super glue, not French and Romans. I'm not sure. So that's been a right eye opener, and Luke's APS is just superb. Love it. Although I did get some more the other day, which I thought I obviously got the stuff. So I got these little this bag of can't remember what it's called now. I think it's the rubble or something. And I thought it was going to be really good to go on the bases, and it will be really good, but I'm going to have to use a lot of glue. It's not as instant set as the other stuff is, which is a bit frustrating.
No.
Super glue and the kicker. Alright, mate. Got you. I was being facetious, obviously. Sorry. Poor old Leslie. Poor old Leslie. Give him grief. Give him as much grief as he gives us. Which is brilliant. Oh God, I need my applicator. The only problem is I need an extra pair of hands when I'm using the applicator, because I'm holding, you know, like an arm like I am now to a figure, and then I need one hand's holding the figure, one arm's holding the arm. I need a third arm. Can I get a mutation printed on me? Jesus.
It'd be handy, wouldn't it?
Why is it? Answer me this then, somebody. Why is it super glue sticks flesh to plastic better than plastic to plastic? Why is it? Just, you know, always does it.
Because it was designed with flesh.
Yeah, true.
It was designed for the Vietnam War, wasn't it?
Designed as medical stuff, wasn't it? Yeah. Which it still is used. You can go in there, little grade stuff. You can when you split your head open, they go and glue it together, don't they?
Glue it together, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, plastic to plastic is some sort of chemical. Super glue is meant to chemically react, isn't it? Down and bond. That's why I don't like it. If you're using plastic, it's a bloody nightmare.
But I do like the fact it's a more solid bond. I think it just sticks much quicker and much more durably. I think once it is set, than the plastic stuff.
Okay. See, I've never had an issue with the plastic stuff.
maybe it's just me, but yeah, I don't know. I'm like Steve on that. I'll use super glue mostly. I go through so much of the damn stuff. I think anybody who looks in on my must think I've got a real glue sniffing problem.
Problem with glue.
Yeah, because I go through
precisely.
Every time my wife goes to somewhere like the range or something, I'll say, do you need anything? I'll say, yeah, super glue. Because I go through so much of the damn stuff. Because your flesh is moist, says Leslie. How dare you? How very dare you? Moist. Yeah, it's true. I don't
know. Right, that there is a Bretonnian archer, near enough.
Nice. So how many are in? What's in this army of you Bretonnians? What you've got? What's the what's going to
be? 20 archers so far.
Right.
And that's it. these not part of that army.
Okay.
They're like a mercenary unit.
Mercenary knights, they're nice.
Yeah, they're like a special unit for hire sort of thing. Anyone can use them.
It works that you have certain core units and then mercenaries on top. Oh bugger!
You don't. No, you don't have to use. You don't have to use mercenaries at all.
Oh, okay.
They're just nice. So it just adds a bit of flavour, you know.
Got you.
Yeah, no, that's pretty cool. I definitely don't like contrast paints over white. That's what that's taught me, because I think that's not looks all right, but over white.
No, it doesn't work as well that way, does it? I think it has to be a light grey. I think that's
grey.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that tells me that was an experiment. So that's getting stripped.
So do you actually genuinely strip everything like that doesn't work for you?
Don't like it, I'll strip it, yeah. Isopropyl alcohol. It's the way forward. Look, I got 5 litres of it. It strips everything. So I've got some miniatures in a pot in the bathroom months. Just soaking.
Wow.
Just because it's metal miniatures, and well, I've left plastics for 6 months before and taken them out, and it's fine. Paint just comes off like easy. So that's what I mean. If I know I'm going to strip something eventually, instead of just having it sitting there, I chuck it in. The sooner you chuck it in, the easier it is to strip.
Yeah. I must admit, I just don't. I generally don't strip figures. Occasionally I've done it, but it's been a long time.
Oh no. I don't like the look of that. It won't look right with the rest of my bowman otherwise, and that will drive me insane. So.
Yeah, because like you're saying, you do test figures, and I don't. So, for me, it would be like a group of 8 would be like that. So it's a bit more forgiving from that point of view. I may not be happy with it, but then I'd probably just get the dark tone on it, and just it down a bit, because. Like you say, I think contrast paints are great in many ways, but you paint them on white, it just doesn't work. It's just
it
clear.
Doesn't look right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't look right at all. So that will be, the flesh doesn't look right either at all. So no, that'll be correct. But I think it's that time, Dom.
Are we there, mate? It is, isn't it? It's nearly 10 o'clock. It is time to wrap. So what have you got done? You're going to show me off.
Well. Yeah, not really. I've painted all the shields, so they've had white. I've done 4 of those, and I've done all the just the metal. So I've painted in the metal,
right?
Just on the thing. So but that's all I've done, because it's taken so long to do all those coats of white, obviously. But these will get finished tomorrow, probably in about 2 or 3 hours.
Yeah,
which will be really nice, and then that'll be my first ever unit of fantasy complete.
Nice.
Yeah. There'll be pictures on the Miniature War Gaming Warriors Facebook page. I'm going to stick some pictures up there.
Got you.
Yeah. Oh, you should make one for your channel. Facebook group.
Well, I've got a Facebook page, but I just haven't set it up as a one. I must. Yeah, I'm kind of a bit lazy with that. I must get round to doing more with it, to be honest. Yeah. Oh.
You got to admin it as well, then.
Well, that's the problem as well. It's time. Between the time I have to paint and everything else that's going on, I've just dropped a shield as well. Bloody hell.
Yeah, I'm always checking it. I'm always putting little things. I set up an Instagram as well this week.
I saw. I got notified of it. I didn't follow you because I don't want to know what you're up. Yeah, I do sometimes use Instagram. When I'm painting figures, I'll put them up on there. Just to sort of, as I finish them, just to sort of show off what I'm working on. But other than that, I don't tend.
I tell you what though, that Instagram's well weird, right? Because I watched that video that you put up, and then I clicked on the double click video, and then it took me to like I think your daughter's Imogen's Facebook page, and I went to click off it, but I clicked add as friend. She said to me, "Is this one of your friends?" And I said, "Yeah." She said, "I'm not accepting it." I said, "No, I wouldn't. Not with him. He's dodgy. No, I wouldn't do that. He's into dwarves and contrast paint and all sorts." And then she said, "Oh, wait, the request has gone." It's like, "Oh," I said, "He's probably realised he screwed something up. Don't worry." Yeah, I did it by accident through Instagram. What the fuck? And then I didn't notice at first. I was like, what's that saying message, that person? Oh, they've done it right. And then I was like, oh fuck, what am I doing? And then
oh, funny.
On the thing. Yeah, it was quite funny actually. I thought you were going to actually say something tonight. I thought she'd say something.
I'd forgotten all about it actually, but she did say, and I said, "Don't worry." Because she said then it suddenly disappeared. The requests are gone. She said, "Is he somebody you know?" I said, "No, he's just a hanger-on. He's always around."
No. He's just a dwarf. He's just a lonely dwarf.
Just a lonely dwarf looking for new tomato field. Oh well. All right then, mate. I hope you have a really good week. Yeah. I hope everyone on the chat does too. Yeah. And we will see you hopefully next week and actually get it to work this time.
Yeah.
That'd be nice.
And one day I might not be red. I might be just, normal colour.
It's always going to happen.
White skin.
It's always going to happen, mate.
Oh my god.
You're made to be you're just a tomato. That's all I'm going to say.
Lovely.
Thanks for watching, everyone. See you soon. Cheers. Bye bye.